Yo, what's going on, guys? My name is Coza, and today we're going to be looking at the new Season 4 Warzone update, and we're going to basically go over everything that you need to know to make sure you slay out in your next game. As far as the weapon balancing go, this season was pretty interesting. I'm not going to lie to you. They did some pretty interesting stuff that I didn't expect Ravensoft to be doing. That's pretty much buffing really bad guns. Now we're gonna go ahead and start off with a couple of ones that are going to be pretty much expected. We're basically just going to go over what specifically was buffed just to shorten things up a bit, and if you want to hear a little bit more about it, we'll have a link down below of the patch notes, what specifically was buffed or nerfed for these weapons. But without further ado, let's get into it. First off, we have the Swiss K31. No buff, no nerf. It was more or less just a sight adjustment for the scopes for the Swiss. Nothing too crazy. You probably won't really see much of a difference on this one, but it is in the patch notes. Next up is the Bullfrog. Now again, another just sight adjustment for the Bullfrog. Nothing too crazy, and again, nothing you probably won't really feel or see in regards to differences. Now here's a pretty big one, the Groza. Now this is going to be getting a damage buff, basically just going to do a little bit better at ranged combat compared to before. In general, damage alone, it'll pretty much kick a little bit more than usual. It did get a pretty good decent damage buff. Okay, next up, this hands down has to be the most random, unexpected balance I've ever seen, is the FN Scar, believe it or not. Yes, that's right, the most unused gun in COD history for Warzone. Definitely something I didn't expect them to do at all. But yeah, it basically got a damage buff. It does pack quite a bit of a punch. I tried it a little bit. The 30 round mag still makes it kind of unviable in certain situations, but I can see this melting from high ground points. But yeah, I don't really see it being the meta with the 30 rounds. I don't know why they can't just increase that. It did get a damage buff, and it's not too bad. Next up, we have the Milano. Now this has to be the most important weapon balance out of the entire list. It got an incredible damage buff, and it's practically meta right now. I highly recommend using it. It's basically better than almost every SMG on the list now. The damage range is insane. Base damage, hip fire accuracy for recoil, and its mobility is insane. Now I even have attachments for this gun for you just to see if you guys want to use it. I run 5 milliwatt for the hip fire accuracy, task force barrel for the damage and strafe speed, agency suppressor for even additional damage range, 45 round drum, and wire stock. The damage is pretty good, so you don't need anything more than 45 if I'm being honest. You don't really need sight either, since this is already an accurate SMG. 5 milliwatt helps in hip fire accuracy, and the long barrel and agency suppressor help in that damage buff as well. Highly recommend this one. On the list is the DMR. I honestly don't know why they even went back to this gun after the terrible massacre that it caused in the season launch for this weapon. I really didn't even want to talk about this weapon, but it did get a pretty okay recoil control buff. It's basically just going to be a little bit more accurate. Damage is still going to remain the same. Do not listen to anyone that says that it got crazy buffed. It's the next meta. It's basically the same thing. It's just more accurate. I highly recommend using it if you are a loser. No, I'm just kidding. No, but it's pretty okay. The recoil is a little bit more easy to control, but I wouldn't expect it to be the meta again. Highly doubt it. All right, we're basically going to go over the 3 new weapons for Warzone, and we're going to go ahead and go over what they are and what they're best used for, and basically what they bring to the table. First up is the MG82. Now this gun is absolutely insane, and is hands down the best gun in the game right now. It has an insane damage range, insane damage, insane accuracy, insane mobility, and the devs are basically insane for just letting this in the game. It's hands down just extremely broken. I would arguably say this is as bad as the DMR meta was. Just go look at some TikToks and clips of this thing. It's just absolutely nuts. All right, next up is the most ridiculous gun in the entire list of Warzone weapons, and that is the nail gun. Now this gun does not need any attachments. It is just a nail gun pretty much, and guess what? It is the most broken gun in the game at the moment. It kills quicker than any other gun up close. It's practically a 3 to 4 shot depending on where you aim, and it's just disgusting. Now at range, it does lose quite a bit of damage, and it is not as useful, but hands down, if you're running in buildings or you're going up close and personal, this is a must have. It's hands down one of the most broken guns in the game, and arguably currently meta. Right, next thing up is the Warzone map changes. What's been added, what's been removed, and really what you need to know. Now, there are 4 new POI locations, or aka landmarks. Those are the crash sites for the satellites. There's one in the ravine above the airport tower, one in the ravine next to the salt mines, one on the bridge connecting hospital and downtown, and one in the farmland and the open fields in the right corner of the map. Nothing too crazy in regards to loot or anything like that. There is some guns and loot crates there. Easter egg wise, nothing crazy there either. It's just more or less a cool little thing to see. Now, a little bit more on the interesting side of things that were added are the red doors. Now, this is by far one of the most interesting ones, and it was kind of difficult for me to find, but there are basically 4 locations to this door. They spawn randomly, so don't expect it to be in the same spot every game. Now, I managed to find one near the railroad tracks, all the way in the top left corner of the map in that little hut building. It basically provides you a teleporter that teleports you to a random room in the map that provides you with a couple of gold chests, the specialist perk, a random kill streak, and a gold gas mask, and a bunch of money. So a really cool addition to the map, and it really does replace the whole safe thing that we had, or vault thing that we had back a couple seasons ago. One thing to look out for though is that people can camp the doors of these sites, so be careful when entering these teleporter rooms. You will get killed sometimes. But other than that, thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for upcoming videos and updates, and if you want to see Cold War updates, let us know. We might do one next time. But thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out.